Hello everyone and welcome back to the Velocity channel, where this is your bridge to financial freedom. Today we're going to be hammering down, eliminating a $41,000 loan, but we're not going to be doing it with gargantuan amounts, all right? We're not going to be guiding you to consolidation loans. Listen, you need to consolidate your line, all right? More on that later. But before we get into that, share and subscribe so that everyone around the world can know the power of Velocity Banking, because Velocity Banking knows no bounds. So now we're going to be decimating this loan, but you don't have gargantuan amounts. You don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't have even 10,000 to make any dent on this. How are we going to do it? We're going to do it just like this. Let me give you an overview of what we have here. $41,000 at 12%, okay? $41,000 at 12%. That's going to equal, in many lending institutions, about $801 each and every month to the minimum monthly payment. Now, remember, it doesn't matter how much you take out of that principal balance. You're still going to have the $801 each month. Let's say you go ahead and hammer it down to the $30,000. You'll still have the $801 each month. Let's say you hammer it down to $20,000. You're still going to be paying the $801 each and every month. What matters is that you know that $801 each month is getting divvied up in a particular fashion. We're going to hop into that and show you how to take advantage of that. Over here in our DA, or our deployment account, we have $1,000. Now, it's going to be $1,000 versus $41,000. Which one is going to win? Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you have the $1,000, okay, each and every month to put towards this loan. How are you going to pay it? Please don't tell me you're going to pay it as you would anything else. Just give it to the bank and don't notify them that, excuse me, Mr., Mrs., I want you to place this $1,000 towards the principal only, okay? So this is going to be on top of your minimum monthly payment of the $801. Now, this is how you're going to divide it. You're going to be specific, and you're going to say, this $1,000 goes towards the principal. That's right, towards the principal. Let me let you in on something. Your lender usually, all right, generally cannot say, you can't do that, all right? They can't say that, all right? They have to let you pay that principal payment, okay, of that $1,000, and that $1,000 can go specifically now to the principal. Okay, this is what I actually get on in for our members in Velocity Banking Hours. I break it down to them. I let them know how it's paid. I even talk to their banks, and their banks start to understand. Because, guys, banks don't know everything. Does that make sense? All right. So that $1,000 decimated, okay? That principal payment is not going to be the $41,000 anymore. Now we are on top of our payment having the $1,000 extra to the principal. What does that do? Well, let's go ahead and see what it does, all right? On the traditional banking method, you're going to pay the $801, but this is how it's going to be split up. It's going to be split up with $391 going towards the principal and $410 going towards the interest. Okay, so now that's the first month. The only thing wrong with this is that there is actually more money going to the bank than to us, and we want to reverse that, okay? Listen to what happens at the 6th month here. $411 goes towards the principal, while $390 goes towards the interest. Now, that's a little better, okay? That's a little better, but it's still not good enough. Does that make sense? Because we are still paying a lot of money towards interest, even though, albeit, we are paying less money to the bank than we were about 6 months ago. And oh, by the way, $411 is bigger than $390, so there is more going towards the principal. But let's not wait that long, right? Especially since we have this amount in our midst each and every month. Let's put that money to work for us. Now, let's take the same months, the first month and then the 6th month, and let's see where we're at in velocity banking, all right? Let's place that $1,000 towards that principal balance. What do we get? $1,391 to the principal, $410 to the interest, okay? Remember, that's the first month. But I want you to look at what happens when the 6th month comes around, all right? $1,462 and $339 in the interest. Now, did you see what I saw? Do you see how that's actually much different than about 6 months ago? Why is that? Because we are hammering that monthly payment, okay, versus just doing it through the traditional banking way and staying with that minimum monthly payment. So as we're doing that $1,000 each and every month, what's happening? Well, the interest is being transferred from the interest side or from the bank side to our side. If you notice, do you know how much this is in relation to this? Meaning, how much interest got transferred from the first month to the 6th month, okay? Can I just do that for you right now? $72, is that $72? Yeah, $71, there we go. Yeah, $71 from the interest to the principal in that 6-month period. While, oh, by the way, on the traditional banking side, what is that? About $20, okay, that has switched from the interest side to this side. Folks, when you have that $1,000 or even if it's $500, even if it's $400 each month, and you're taking out that principal balance, what matters to us is that we are making this interest smaller by making the balance smaller, all right? It's all about that principal interest relationship. So when you get it in a spot where you don't know what to do with the money, always remember that when the money is $41,000, whether it's $42,000 or even $45,000, you can focus on the principal and make sure that that principal is small so that that interest ends up being smaller, and that's when we cancel out the interest, putting that interest into our accounts versus the bank accounts. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go ahead and capture this $801 each and every month, not within 6 years like this loan is purporting to do, but let's capture that $801 in much less time. Let me break that down to you. So as you can see, there is a difference between you paying the minimum monthly payment and that over and above payment of the $1,000 each and every month. And there's a significant difference. And we're going to go ahead and go over that right now. Total interest, if you're doing it the traditional banking way, $16,712 in total unnecessary interest that you're paying. And plus, you're not going to be out of that loan until 6 years from when you started. Now, let's go ahead and go over to the velocity banking side. Total interest that you'll be paying there, $5,753. And oh, by the way, you will be getting out of that loan in about 2.2 years, not 6 years. So that means in the same amount of time that you would be paying this off, okay, just say about 4 years, you would be saving this $801 each month. Now, if we could, let's go ahead and do the math on that. And let's say it's about the 4 years that you're saving this each and every month. 4 years multiplied by 12 so that we can reduce it down to months. That's going to be 48 months. So that's $801 multiplied by 48 months. Now, folks, let me just go ahead and break this down to you, all right? Let's see how much cash flow you'll have, right, at the same amount of time that you're supposed to be paying this off, all right? So let's go ahead and do this math really quickly here. And then 64, all right, then we're gonna put the 0 down here. 4, some of you are like, what in the world is he doing? I don't know what he's doing. I'm just doing math, all right? 8, we got 4, 4, 8, and 3. Now, someone check me on that, but in the same amount of time you would have paid off this $41,000 loan from the traditional banking, you have saved $38,448. Now, that deployment account can be a line of credit, it can be a savings account, it can be a checking account, okay? It can be. Now, remember, when you're talking about lines of credit, you still got that interest to be concerned about, but when you're using your line of credit in a strategic fashion, you can pay down that line of credit with your cash flow. Do you remember that? Okay, let's go ahead and go over it. Let's say you have the balance of $10,000 because, listen, you've got it, right? Someone trusted you with $10,000. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to use that $10,000 from the line of credit, okay? And we're going to hammer down this loan of $41,000. Let's see what that looks like. We got $10,000, okay? And let's say you have a cash flow of $2,000, okay? Now, let's draw a boundary here, just so they have order. What are we going to do? We have to divide the 10,000 divided by the 2,000, which is going to equal 5. Now, that's how long you're going to be in that line of credit balance in order to pay it all off, okay? In order to replenish that $10,000, it's going to take you about 5 months with that $2,000 as the cash flow, all right? So now that you made sure that, we are now going to place that $10,000, right, towards that principal payment after the 5 months. What are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and take the $10,000 again, since it is now replenished, and we're going to hammer that principal again. Now, of course, this is going to look much different than what it does right now. Why? Because you are eliminating in a great fashion all of these monthly payments very quickly. So it's going to take you actually less than the 2 years. However, remember, the 2.2 years is still a great way to pay it off and a great time to pay off a loan that they wanted you in for 6 years, okay? So folks, please let me know. Let me get out of your way. If you need any help with this, and we will help you, all right? Don't forget that our Velocity Banking hours for our members are going to be Monday through Thursday. And we're going to be doing them throughout the day so that you can have that one-on-one time with us. Also, it's a group setting so that if you have a question, maybe someone else has a question and they are able to answer your question with the numbers, you're going to be receiving lots and lots of value from that, okay? So please make sure that you take a screenshot of this, and remember the cash flow indicator. We'll be going over that again. We want you to know you don't have to stay stuck in that $801 a month. That $801 really should be going to you. God bless you, and we'll see you in another video.